प्रभु रामकृष्ण पद शरण जीवन जय विवेकानंद नामधारी। प्रभु रामकृष्ण पद शरण जीवन जय विवेकानंद नामधारी। रुद्र अवतार भैरव हुंकार, रुद्र अवतार भैरव हुंकार, देश चराचर वारी। प्रभु रामकृष्ण पद शरण जीवन जय विवेकानंद नामधारी। प्रभु रामकृष्ण पद शरण जीवन जय विवेकानंद नामधारी।
To please put your phones in silent mode. I repeat, we request everyone to please put your mobile phones in the silent mode. We are about to begin our program. Namaste, a very good evening to one and all present here. We welcome you all to the revered Swami Ranganathanandaji Maharaj Memorial Lectures on Swami Vivekananda's teachings lead to inner awakening and rejuvenation. May I now request our Adhyaksha Maharaj, Swami Bodhamanandaji, to accompany our chief guest, Professor Jagadish Gopalan Garu, onto the dais. We will start our program by taking the blessings of the God. I request Swami Siteshanandaji Maharaj, along with monastic brothers, to invocate the blessings of the God with prayer and bhajans.
Shanti mantras. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Gananaan Tva Ganapati Gum Havamahe Kavim Kavinamupamashravastamam Jyeshtarajam Brahmanam Brahmanaspata Anashrinvannuti Bhisida Sadanam Mahaganapataye Namaha Prano Devi Saraswati Vajebhirvajinivati Dhinama Vidyavatu Ano Divo Brihatah Parvatadha Saraswati Yajata Gantu Yajñam Vagdevyai Namaha Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ। शन्नो मित्रः शं वरुणः शन्नो भवत्वर्यमा इन्द्रो बृहस्पतिः शन्नो विष्णुरुक्रमः। नमो ब्रह्मणे नमस्ते वायो त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वामेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्म वदिष्यामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्वक्तारमवतु अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारम्। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ। भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाशभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैः स्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः। स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ। तच्छंयोरावृणीमहे गातुं यज्ञाय गातुं यज्ञपतये दैवी स्वस्तिरस्तु नः स्वस्तिर्मानुषेभ्यः ऊर्ध्वं जिगातु भेषजं शन्नो अस्तु द्विपदे शञ्चतुष्पदे। शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ। यश्छन्दसां वृषभो विश्वरूपः छन्दोभ्योऽध्यमृतात् सम्बभूव समेन्द्रो मेधया स्पृणोतु
अमृतस्य देवधारणो
भूयासं शरीरं मे विचर्षणं जिह्वा मे मधुमत्तमा कर्णाभ्यां
भूरिविश्रुवम्
ब्रह्मणः कोशोऽसि मेधया पिहितः श्रुतं मे गोपाय। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ। मधुवातार्तायते मधुक्षरन्ति सिन्धवः माध्वीर्नः सन्त्वोषधीः मधुनक्तमुतोषसि मधुमत्पार्थिवगुं रजः मधुद्यौरस्तु नः पिता मधुमान्नो वनस्पतिर्मधुमागुम् अस्तु सूर्यः माध्वीर्गावो भवन्तु नः। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ। पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं
पूर्णात्
पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ। सपार्षद श्री रामकृष्ण स्तोत्रम। सर्वधर्मस्थापकस्त्वं सर्वधर्मस्वरूपकः सर्वधर्मस्थापकस्त्वं सर्वधर्मस्वरूपकः आचार्याणां महाचार्यो रामकृष्णाय ते नमः। आचार्याणां महाचार्यो रामकृष्णाय ते नमः। यथाग्नेर्दाहिका शक्ति रामकृष्णे स्थिता हि या। यथाग्नेर्दाहिका शक्ति रामकृष्णे स्थिता हि या। सर्वविद्या स्वरूपां तां शारदां प्रणमाम्यहम्। सर्वविद्या स्वरूपां तां शारदां प्रणमाम्यहम्। परतत्त्वे सदा लीनो रामकृष्णसमाज्ञया। परतत्त्वे सदा लीनो रामकृष्णसमाज्ञया। यो धर्मस्थापनरतो वीरेशं तं नमाम्यहम्। यो धर्मस्थापनरतो वीरेशं तं नमाम्यहम्। कालिन्दे फुल्लकमले माधवेन क्रीडारता। कालिन्दे फुल्लकमले माधवेन क्रीडारता। ब्रह्मानन्द नमस्तुभ्यं सद्गुरो लोकनायक। ब्रह्मानन्द नमस्तुभ्यं सद्गुरो लोकनायक। योगानन्द प्रेमानन्दश्चान्ये वये च पार्षदाः। योगानन्द प्रेमानन्दश्चान्ये वये च पार्षदाः। रामकृष्ण गतप्राणा सर्वांस्तान् प्रणमाम्यहम्। रामकृष्ण गतप्राणा सर्वांस्तान् प्रणमाम्यहम्। सर्वांस्तान् प्रणमाम्यहम्। వివేకానందాయతివరేణ్య అందుకొను మా వందనములు. వివేకానందాయతివరేణ్య అందుకొను మా వందనములు. వివేకానందాయతివరేణ్య కర్మమర్మము తెలిపి స్వామి నిర్మలత్వము నిలుపు చేసిన. కర్మమర్మము తెలిపి స్వామి నిర్మలత్వము నిలుపు చేసిన. సాటి రానిది నీదు ప్రేమ మాటి మాటికి తలతు నిన్నే. సాటి రానిది నీదు ప్రేమ మాటి మాటికి తలతు నిన్నే. వివేకానంద యతివరేణ్య అందుకొను మా వందనములు. వివేకానంద యతివరేణ్య త్యాగమహిమను అవని జూపి త్యాగశీలి తాపహరణ. త్యాగమహిమను
అవని జూపిన త్యాగశీలి
తాపహరణ. విశ్వమానవ శాంతిదాత బ్రోవు నరవర ముక్తినేత. విశ్వమానవ శాంతిదాత బ్రోవు నరవర ముక్తినేత. వివేకానంద యతివరేణ్య అందుకొను
మా వందనములు.
వివేకానంద యతివరేణ్య సప్తర్షి మండలము నుండి అవతరించిన భానుతేజ. సప్తర్షి
మండలము నుండి
అవతరించిన భానుతేజ. రామకృష్ణ శిష్య కనికరముంచి గనుమా దీన జనులను. రామకృష్ణ శిష్య కనికరముంచి గనుమా దీన జనులను. వివేకానంద యతివరేణ్య అందుకొను మా వందనములు. వివేకానంద యతివరేణ్య అందుకొను మా వందనములు. వివేకానంద వివేకానంద వివేకానంద.
Pranam. I will present something very unique on tabla. It is called Vivekananda Paran. It is a tabla composition, Pakhavaj composition actually, dedicated to Swami Vivekananda. It is written actually in Bangla by Dr. Sarbanand Chaudhary. जय जय विवेकानंद कथा गदिगन बाजे मृदंग राम कृष्ण चरणे स्थान धा धिटे कथा धित तक्रान जननी सारोदा करें करुण धागे ने नागे ने कथा थुन नाना नोबो रूप धरे वेद वेदांत जय 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 विवेकानंद धीरे 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 केट तक जगत शोभाय पोरे गे छेडा धाकिड़ तक धागत जगतेर माझे नतून भारत गंभीर धीर धातो शांतो जय 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 विवेकानंद धा दिन धागे धा तिट कथा शिवो ज्ञाने जीव पूजा आरते बरता धित तिर किट धाकिट तक दिन अमृत पुत्रो के नाई धाकिट ताकिट कथा गदिगन क्रदिंता ताल छंदे विवेकानंदे करी प्रणाम क्रदिंताय कोरी प्रणाम क्रदिंताय कोरी प्रणाम क्रदिंताय कोरी प्रणाम. This is one composition that I heard right here by Dr. Dattatreya Verankarji. जयतु विवेकानंद योगीवर युगाचार्य यतिराज जय वीरेश्वर जय शिव शंकर जय 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 महाराज जयतु विवेकानंद योगीवर युगाचार्य यतिराज. ध्यान परायण नर नारायण ध्यान परायण नर नारायण त्रिभुवन के सिरताज ध्यान परायण नर नारायण त्रिभुवन के सिरताज जीव दुख हरण करत अवतरण जीव दुख हरण करत अवतरण धर सन्यासी साज धर सन्यासी साज जयतु विवेकानंद योगीवर युगाचार्य यतिराज. मोहति मिरहर प्रखर दिवाकर मोहति मिरहर प्रखर दिवाकर उदित जगत हितकाज उदित जगत हितकाज तमनाशक जड़ चित्त जगावत तमनाशक जड़ चित्त जगावत चेतन सकल समाज चेतन सकल समाज जयतु विवेकानंद योगीवर युगाचार्य यतिराज। मूर्त विवेक विराग ज्ञान बल, मूर्त विवेक विराग ज्ञान बल, त्रिभुवन के सिरताज। मूर्त विवेक विराग ज्ञान बल, तज अखंड कारा। सकल विद्या भ्रांति हरो प्रभु, सकल विद्या भ्रांति हरो प्रभु, चित्त में करो विराज, चित्त में करो विराज। जयतु विवेकानंद योगीवर, युगाचार्य यतिराज। जय वीरेश्वर जय शिव शंकर, जय 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 महाराज, जय 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 महाराज। जयतु विवेकानंद योगीवर, युगाचार्य यतिराज। One Namavali, everybody can repeat. Vivekananda, 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 Vivekananda,
Vivekananda, Vivekananda.
Sadguru Swami Vivekananda,
Sadguru Swami
Sadguru Swami Vivekananda,
Sadguru Swami Vivekananda.
Veera Sannyasi Vivekananda,
Veera Sannyasi Vivekananda.
Veera Sannyasi Vivekananda,
Veera Sannyasi Vivekananda.
शत प्रणाम चरणारविंदा, शत प्रणाम
चरणारविंदा.
शत प्रणाम चरणारविंदा,
शत प्रणाम चरणारविंदा.
विवेकानंदा विवेकानंदा
विवेकानंदा विवेकानंदा.
विवेकानंदा विवेकानंदा
विवेकानंदा विवेकानंदा.
सद्गुरु स्वामी विवेकानंदा,
सद्गुरु स्वामी विवेकानंदा.
सद्गुरु स्वामी विवेकानंदा,
सद्गुरु स्वामी विवेकानंदा.
वीर सन्यासी विवेकानंदा,
वीर सन्यासी विवेकानंदा.
वीर सन्यासी विवेकानंदा,
वीर सन्यासी विवेकानंदा.
शत प्रणाम चरणारविंदा,
शत प्रणाम चरणारविंदा.
शत प्रणाम चरणारविंदा,
शत प्रणाम चरणारविंदा.
विवेकानंदा विवेकानंदा
विवेकानंदा विवेकानंदा.
सद्गुरु स्वामी विवेकानंदा,
सद्गुरु स्वामी विवेकानंदा.
वीर सन्यासी विवेकानंदा,
वीर सन्यासी विवेकानंदा.
शत प्रणाम चरणारविंदा,
शत प्रणाम चरणारविंदा.
विवेकानंदा Vivekananda, Vivekananda,
Vivekananda, Vivekananda.
जय भगवान श्री रामकृष्ण देव की
Jai.
जय श्री शारदा माई की
जय
जय स्वामी विवेकानंद महाराज जी की
जय।
Thank you, Maharaj. Now, a documentary film on revered Srimad Swami Ranganathanandaji Maharaj, made from the archive photos, will be presented for your inspiration and knowledge.
Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, the God incarnation of the present age, ideally descended to the earthen plane to alleviate human suffering. For the good of all, Sri Ramakrishna realized God in different religions as well as in different sects of Hinduism and proclaimed to the world, "As many faiths, so many paths." As an anxious father is ready to give away his accumulated wealth, Sri Ramakrishna wanted to give away the treasure of spirituality he had gained. When a flower blooms, bees come of their own accord. Socialists, religious leaders and devotees of all sects started to visit Sri Ramakrishna to partake the precious jewels. Amongst them, those 16 who were destined to be monks were carefully trained on the path of renunciation and discrimination. Among the 16 disciples, 5 went to college, 10 didn't finish their formal education, and 1 was completely unlettered. But all of them learnt the greatest truth from their master, as they had passion for knowing God. Recognizing their uniqueness, Sri Ramakrishna made each one a role model and an ideal spiritual torch-bearer. These disciples were Ishvara Kotis, God-like souls, eternal companions of God, reborn to fulfill a divine mission. Towards the end of his mortal existence, Sri Ramakrishna distributed them the ochre cloth and initiated them into monasticism, thus forming his own order, today well known as Ramakrishna Mutt and Mission. Swami Vivekananda ideally led this organization with a vision, Atmano Mokshavtam Jagat Hitayacha, for one's own liberation and for the welfare of the world. The Ramakrishna order, formed in the year 1897, has today become a great power for peace and happiness in this country and abroad. The fact that the movement lays great stress in selfless service as a means of God realization attracts people from all religions and various walks of life. Among the second generation stalwarts, our beloved Ranganathanandaji Maharaj, an initiated disciple of Swami Shivanandaji Maharaj, the second president of the order, is easily the most celebrated sage. He is popularly known to the world as the unique cultural and spiritual ambassador of India's imperishable heritage. Ranganathanandaji was born on December 15, 1908 in Trikkur, the serene, quiet village near Trichure in Kerala. It is quite a miraculous coincidence that December 15th that year happened to be Holy Mother's birthday. No wonder that the young lad, later inspired by the life and message of the Holy Mother, memorized the famous hymn to the Holy Mother beginning with the line, Brakvithim Paramam. His birth in Kerala, called God's own country, is interesting. Did our God, the Supreme Incarnation, Sri Ramakrishna, ordain that his future messenger should be born in Kerala, called God's own country? Moreover, it is only proper that Ranganathanandaji is the greatest modern exponent of Shankaracharya's Advaita Vedanta, because Shankaracharya was also born in Kerala, and this Trikur boy would in future take this great sage's greatest philosophy to the nooks and corners of East and West. And his pre-monastic name was Shankaran. Ranganathanandaji's parents were Nilakanta Shastri and Lakshmi Kutti Amma. They were quite well-to-do, extremely devoted to Shiva. It is this that led them to name their second son Shankaran. The boy was himself a great devotee of Shiva and used to assist his mother in her puja. Obviously, Shiva's grace was received by Shankar. As a young boy, he had a dream in which a radiant light came out of the Shiva temple near his house and it enveloped him. Shankar was an active boy interested in everything around him. Active in sports, he was fond of swimming, thanks to the nearness of the river on the banks of which his village nestled. But this was not all the boy absorbed about the principle of the equality of human beings, and never bothered about caste and creed. He later declared, "Though born and brought up in Kerala, my feelings of identification were never confined to that one state, but became national and international." Swami Ranganathanandaji, the most authentic speaker of modern times, was indeed the cultural and spiritual ambassador of India. Swamiji has undertaken an extensive tour of 50 countries starting from 1946 to 1972 and 1973 to 1986, during which he visited Australia, USA, Holland and Germany annually. Whosoever once heard Swamiji were captured by the charm, power and beauty of his speech. Although he travelled all over the world, Swamiji remained a sannyasin in the true essence of it, as he lived up to the two basic vows of a monk, chastity and poverty. His lectures and writings have aroused great interest amongst largest numbers of Westerners in our Vedantic universal philosophy and our ancient scriptures. Swamiji always spoke of religion as a scientific quest for truth. Maharaj would say that the same spirit of scientific temper and inquiry that we employ to investigate the mysteries of material world, if directed inward, it becomes religion or spirituality. He would say emphatically that religion is a science. It's not a dogma or creed or a superstition. It is the purest of sciences. Maharaj strove hard to make people understand the difference between ethnic religion and scientific religion. For him, religion is the science of human possibilities. It is the science of spiritual growth and fulfillment, an embodiment of purity, strength and universality. Swamiji remained a humble servant of the Holy Trio. He announced, "We do not have a mission. We are but their instruments." Wherever he went, he spread the message of Sri Ramakrishna, Vivekananda, and proved that these messages are purifying, strengthening, and universal. Swamiji's speech had a universal message. He could speak on any topic, but always stressed upon eternal values, which are for all, irrespective of religion or region. Swami Ranganathanandaji was a pilgrim of eternal values, spreading the life-giving, man-making message of the Holy Trinity in a manner unique and unparalleled in recent times. Purity manifested itself in various forms like compassion, simplicity, humility, and openness. His magnetic personality attracted people from different strata of the society, giving them inspiration, joy, and encouragement. Wherever he went, the place would become a center of festivity. Swamiji says that the complete works by Swami Vivekananda has helped immensely to shape his life and character in the service of humanity in India and abroad. He himself used to remark, "Do you know everybody has two corpuscles, but I have 3 corpuscles. If you cut my arm, you will find in my blood red, white, and Swami Vivekananda corpuscles. From the age of 18 to 96, he worked incessantly for the welfare of the world. He was approachable to all. He had friends all over the world. He could transmit this powerful energy to others or help others kindle Atma Shraddha, conviction in others. Swami Ranganathanandaji, the 13th president of the gigantic Ramakrishna Mutt and Mission, was not only a spiritual guru, but a great administrator too. Be it for 7 years from 1942 in Karachi or 13 years in Delhi until 1962. Swamiji dedicated his services in bringing up spacious public libraries and auditoriums, medical centers, and organizing various social service activities. In 1961, Maharaj Ji was elected as a trustee of Ramakrishna Mutt and a member of the governing body of Ramakrishna Mission. In 1962, he became the secretary of the Institute of Culture at Calcutta. It was starting from Maharaj Ji's period. The institute extensively started to render its services to the cause of our culture and philosophy by way of lectures, publications, research, and linguistic study. He always had the vision of a universal temple of Sri Ramakrishna, institute which aimed at promoting the ideal of universal cultural and spiritual harmony and peace. In Hyderabad, Swamiji built up a very prestigious center of Ramakrishna Mutt, which continues to be a source for dissemination of spiritual wealth. This was in the year 1984, and nobody could have imagined that a 74-year-old monk still stands erect and walks straight, the rest following him with reverence. In the year 1988, revered Swami Tapasyanandaji, the then Vice President of the Order, was invited to inaugurate the Pictorial Museum. Speaking on the occasion, Swami Tapasyanandaji described Ranganathanandaji as an Aladdin's lamp that created the centers Rangoon, Karachi, Delhi, and Hyderabad. Swamiji is seen with the then Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, Sri N.T. Rama Rao, in 1989. On this occasion, the late Chief Minister considered it as the good fortune of the people of the Twin Cities to have such great personality like Ranganathanandaji in their midst. He had a wonderful style of delivering lectures, even the most complicated philosophical themes, with comfortable ease and fascinating fluency. He could engage the most sophisticated audience with incessant flow of his simple eloquence, which astounded even great scholars and intellectuals. His focus was especially on spiritual administration to the seekers and character building to the young students. He felt that our experienced professionals and youth must progress beyond the current stagnant urges of the 3 Ps: pay, prospect, and promotion. He was confident that this regenerative process will set in and progress in the years to come. Arise, awake, and stop not till the goal is reached. On one such occasion in the year 1995, in Hyderabad, Maharaj Ji addresses the congregation about the loving relationship between monks and the household devotees. Swamiji took charge as the Vice President of the Ramakrishna Order in the year 1989 and became the President in the year 1998. Henceforth, all the functions or gatherings that happened later had a special significance of him as a Sangha Guru, initiating devotees into Sri Ramakrishna Sangha. On the special occasion of Silver Jubilee of Hyderabad Mutt in the year 2001, Most Revered Maharaj Ji was specially invited to grace the occasion, the Sangha Guru coming to Hyderabad for the first time after his assuming the responsibility of President of the Order. And Swamiji was felicitated with the Citizens Award by the former Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, Sri Chandrababu Naidu. In 1973, Maharaj became the President of the Ramakrishna Mutt at Hyderabad. The campus owes its present stature to Maharaj's untiring efforts to make it an integrated center of total human excellence. the Universal Temple, the Vivekananda Auditorium, Library, Health Center owe their remarkable contribution to the growth of Ramakrishna movement in Andhra Pradesh. The Institute of Human Excellence, which is doing invaluable work today, was the brainchild of Ranganathanandaji Maharaj. Swamiji inaugurates Vivekananda's Institute of Human Excellence at Ramakrishna Mutt, Hyderabad. Speaking on the occasion, Maharaj said that our youth have energy and enthusiasm, but our present-day educational system does not offer any scope for character building and man-making, the true purpose of education. He lights a lamp to signify that the Institute is meant to bring light into the hearts of all. Bring light to the poor. Bring more light to the rich. Bring light to the uneducated. Bring more light to the educated. Swamiji's visit to Hyderabad in September 2003. Body didn't seem to be that cooperative anymore, but the will and spirit of relentless service and reckless sacrifice for others was ever with him. In Vivekananda Auditorium, on the dais for the last time, the place from where he had given beautiful discourses on Gita, Upanishads that captivated the devotees for nearly 20 years. Here in the Hyderabad Mutt campus, Swamiji is seen visiting the newly built Gita Darshan and Sant Darshan very joyfully. Many nationals, administrators and government officials were influenced by him. He sends out messages of inspiration to be strong, inspiration to be a servant of God, inspiration to be servant of our country, servant of the poor, and servant of mankind. Swamiji is the first recipient of Indira Gandhi Award for National Integration, instituted in the year 1985. His benedictory speech can be remembered in the political arena for generations to come. The Gandhi Peace Award was originally meant in the honor of Swami Ranganathanandaji. In fact, Swamiji, in his uniqueness, refused to accept it and wanted the Ramakrishna order to be honored for its services and not himself. Swamiji believed that to be known as a monk of the Ramakrishna order is his greatest identity. The Gandhi Peace Prize 1998 was awarded to Ramakrishna Mission. Swami Ranganathanandaji, though didn't have high formal education, used to surprise everyone with his extraordinary command of English language, be it vocabulary or fluency or pronunciation. He left many scholars spellbound with his proficiency in Vedas, Upanishads and Holy Scriptures. Being a voracious reader and a prolific writer, Swami Ranganathanandaji authored many books. Some of his well-known works are A Pilgrim Looks at the World, Eternal Values for the Changing Society, Message of Upanishads, the Bhagavad Gita, Science and the Religion, Message of the Prophet Muhammad, the Christ we adore, Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, and more than 600 audio cassettes and CDs, which are available at all the bookstalls of Ramakrishna Mutt centers. The glorious 150th birthday of Sri 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 Ma Sharada Devi's was being celebrated in the holy campus of Belur Mutt. It was on this day Swamiji gave his last stage appearance.
Ramakrishna Sharanam, Ramakrishna Sharanam, Ramakrishna Sharanam.
We request everyone to please put your mobiles in silent mode. May I now request our Adhyaksha Maharaj Swami Bodhanandaji to accompany our guest speaker, Professor Jagadish Gopalan Garu, onto the dais. I request our Adhyaksha Maharaj to accompany our guest speaker in lighting of the lamp and to pay floral tributes to revered Srimad Swami Ranganathanandaji Maharaj. On behalf of the devotees, I request Sri Prem Kumar Garu and Professor Vishwanatham sir to pay floral tributes to revered Maharaj. Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you, sir. May I now request Swami Bodhanandaji, Adhyaksha Maharaj, Ramakrishna Math, Hyderabad, to address the gathering.
Before I just share some thoughts with all of you this evening, I request Professor Jagadish Gopalan, our devotee and our guest speaker today, to present a memento to the young artist, our student of human excellence, and recently completed MA Psychology from Chinmaya Institute of Psychology in Kerala, Anirudh Sharma, who sang and played the tabla in the most stunning manner. As a young boy of 9th standard, he used to come from DPS Public School to attend some classes here. Now he has grown to a national level musician. I request all of you to give a big hand to Anirudh Sharma. He is an example of modern and tradition. Anirudh performs yagna, homa, pujas, parayanas. He is a singer, he is a percussionist, and keeps up the modern and the scientific traditions intact. He is a great ideal for young boys and girls who reject the tradition and think they are modern. Vivekananda calls them mustached babies. But Anirudh Sharma recently learnt the art of doing homa from great Swamis in Chinmaya Mission. So he's a complete package of science, technology, music, humbleness, devotion, and human excellence. Anirudh Sharma. Om यथाग्नेर्दाहिका शक्ति रामकृष्णे स्थिता हिया सर्वविद्यास्वरूपां तां शारदां प्रणमाम्यहम् अखण्डमण्डलाकारं व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् हरिः ओम्. Offering my salutations to Holy Trio, Sri Ramakrishna, Mother and Swamiji. Offering my namaskars, pranams to Most Revered Ranganathanandaji Maharaj, who is physically not present, but I am sure he is present in form in the Hyderabad Mutt campus. I offer my pranams and namaskars to our distinguished guest speaker today, Professor Jagdish Gopalan of the Department of Aerodynamics, Indian Institute of Science, who has come all the way from Bengaluru to participate and share his ideas and lessons on Swami Vivekananda's teachings, how it helps him, how it helped him, and how it helps all of us. And he's the right person today when we are organizing the memorial lecture on Ranganathanji's birthday. Though 15th December was there, but since it's a weekday, we thought weekend is better. So he is also comfortably present here physically. Because he will tell you the story background. The Indian Institute of Science, Bengaluru, is the brainchild of Swami Vivekananda. How it came, why it came, I leave it to Professor, because he is the man and the kshetra called Indian Institute of Science. And he is following the Ramakrishna Vivekananda traditions. We were discussing how the institute was blessed by Swami Vivekananda himself. So, and Ranganathanandaji Maharaj was an embodiment of science and religion, science and spirituality, and he used to build a bridge wherever he went. That's what we have seen in that 18 minutes documentary, which I hope all of you would appreciate. It took within 1 week, we designed it and presented it before you. It could have been done better, but we will do it better by 11th February. Maharaj had come as in the commentary you heard 2001, 25 years of the Ramakrishna Math Hyderabad. It started 73, rather affiliated in 73. The work was going on from 1930s in Begumpet. And 73 it became official center. He was the first Adhyaksha of the Math in Secunderabad, Market Street, which is now called the Vemana Research Institute by the Ayush Ministry. And then 1979 it moved to this place. And 2001 is the 25 years of this mission. And now next year will be Golden Jubilee of the mission, of the Ramakrishna Math. 1973, 2023. We'll be completing 50 years. And now itself I'm going to invite all of you orally. Formal invitations will come on 11th February 2024, which is Swami Brahmanji's birthday. We inaugurate the Golden Jubilee celebrations in Hyderabad Math with special puja, homa, bhajan, etc., as if we are entering into a new phase with the blessings of the Trinity and revered Maharaj. That will be a very historic occasion. Entire 2024 will be Golden Jubilee celebrations of Ramakrishna Math Hyderabad. And when you saw all of you, the modern generation who have not seen him, or 90-80% of you might not have heard him speaking or in his presence here, the older generation has seen him here in this very auditorium. He was giving the Sunday talks and meeting people from all walks of life. I remember whether it's a watchman who was a small boy, Ramachandra. Sumita Rai knows him and all. We get emotional about him. He recently passed away. He's not there. He was lifting bricks for building this temple. He was a slum boy, illiterate. And all these slums were evacuated. It was sent behind Indira Park because this land was allotted to the Ramakrishna Math for these activities. But Maharaj said they need first new rehabilitation. So it was done special thing, and all the 100 families were shifted there. But this boy, Ramachandra, who was so devoted, was carrying one brick. He was just about 14, 15 years. Maharaj had told him, till you die, remain in this place. And he lived that life. It is a big lesson for us. We talk big things, egoistic and all that. But Ramachandra, what a death it was. At 8:30 he left home after closing the temple, after cleaning the temple, after locking every door, and in sleep he passed away. Till he died he worked, till the last day. What a wonderful blessing he got from our Guru. Like that, so many people, whether it is James Callaghan, the Prime Minister of England, or whether it was Abdus Salam, the Nobel Prize winner from Pakistan, a physicist, whether it is Ramachandra, a watchman, whether it is M.S. Subbulakshmi, whether it is Indira Gandhi, whether it is me or you or anybody, Samatvam Yoga Uchyate, the great blessings of Akhandanji, the great blessings of Holy Mother. Yesterday we were reading his a note which is published in his book, My Life is My Work. 1968, he had a vivid vision of Holy Mother, hugging him, making him sit on his lap and blessing him. It was found in his notes after he passed away. He did not reveal it to anybody. That was his glory, the touch of the divine. When we see that, it is what you call a reflection for us, a mirror image. Are we fit enough to carry on that work? Though as even I say, the squirrels in Rama's work, building the bridge, squirrel, Udata Seva, that was at least fit. And we are, what are we? So that gives us an inspiration to carry on the legacy of these great masters. From that ancient Vedic times till today, the responsibility that we have for our country is much. So Ranganathanji fulfilled that vision by establishing this complex, and it was nothing here. It was a barren land, a sewage land, a dirty land, a dumping yard. But that you see now, it's gold in spirituality. Many people who are coming, recent past, who have heard, who have taken initiation from Ranganathanji as a vice president or as a president Maharaj in Calcutta or other places, they say the moment they enter inside, many might have gone to many other centers, many centers in India. But they say the moment we enter gate number 2, we feel a vivid presence. There is a dynamism here. There is a vibrations here, which we don't normally find in other centers. It is a very special grace for the people of Hyderabad. And this man, at least 7th standard he passed out, but he could interact with the topmost brilliant people in the world, whether it was in Moscow University. I heard the former Prime Minister, I.K. Gujral, paying a tribute to Ranganathanji. I.K. Gujral was the Indian ambassador in Moscow. And he had requested Swami Ranganathanji, when he was speaking on Vivekananda and human excellence, Maharaj, I request you, this is a communist country, please avoid using the word God. You will be in trouble. If you use the word God, you will be in trouble in Moscow, Russia. But believe me, you cannot control. The word God comes in. We are Bharatiyas. He said, I will try. He didn't promise. He said, I will try. And A.K. Gujralji was holding the chair. What will happen? All the military officers are sitting. He used the word God. Stunned silence. Probably A.K. Gujral lost his heartbeat by a second. He said, I was shivering, the reaction of these 20s. And then they questioned him, what is this God business that you have used? Where is that God? We don't believe in that. And that's how he tackled. A.K. Gujral said, The presence of mind, the smartness, the maturity of answering the question, I learned from Ranganathanji said. How he cooled the audience that God is not an enemy of man, but he is a friend of man. Just like, he used the word, it seems, just like you military generals have a gun in your pocket, we Indians have God in our heart. Kya baat hai? And we cannot forgo God. As much as you cannot forgo a gun, even in sleep. You hold a gun and sleep. That is your fear. We don't have any fear. So this is the extent to which his contribution, his life, this one worked. Power, and one of the comments made in that book is his power of renunciation. I have seen it personally. A big box of luxurious, costly items had come from Germany. He could have used it. Luxurious, costly items sent by devotees from Germany, from Berlin. It came in a packet. They talked with him over phone. That time, no conference calls, nothing. It was just phone calls. And believe me, once the phone is switched off, he called Swami Ranganathanandaji from the office and said, distribute all these things to the workers in Ramakrishna Math. He did not keep even one pen, even one rubber from that. So that is his power of renunciation. So this is the lessons for the younger generation who have not seen the past. At least I am fortunate, and some of you are fortunate might have been sitting in this auditorium during the lectures. This is the action plan that we have to take up. How to spread the message, how to live the message of Holy Trinity, of Vedanta, science. Especially youngsters are here who have attended youth camp and yoga shibir, etc. So take this sincerely, seriously, and joyfully. There is no stress or heavy regimentation in Vedanta or in Ramakrishna Math. Only do this, otherwise you will go to Narakam. Don't do this, you will go to hell. No. This is the highest form of self-respect and divinity in man, which is being worked out by all of us, the younger generation, present generation. After Maharaj, Swami Anandaji was there for 4 or 5 years. Then Swami Paramarthanji was there for 6 years. Then Swami Gnanadanji now in Yadagiri, he was there for 16 years, who built up the beautiful campus and bhajan and festivity, everything here. Now this fellow is there trying to do something. Hopefully, by the grace of the Lord and cooperation of the devotees, we can celebrate the Golden Jubilee nicely. Because I've seen Maharaj personally. I'm sorry, but becoming emotional because right from my childhood I grew with him. And I had the opportunity to drive him several times from the airport to the Ramakrishna Math when I was a brahmachari also. And he said, already you have become a European. Indians generally don't travel. Brahmacharis are not permitted. But somehow it happened, driver was absent, and I had the fortune to take him from the airport to a house, and house to airport, Math to airport, several times. And one lesson I learned, the concern for the people on the street. The great lesson I learned from his life. As I was crossing the busy roads in Bangalore, there was an old man who was just trying to cross the road. I stopped it, but I honked 3 times. Human nature, Indian nature, you see. You want to be first. But here is a man who, when I honked for 3 times, Maharaj held me back and said, respect God in that old man. Allow him to go, then you can go. We are in the car. That man is on the street. He has to go first. Don't be in a hurry. The one lesson. So these are the subtle points where we overlook. We become complacent. Anni వచ్చు కదా మనకి. ఏదో అనేసుకుంటాం, ఏదో చదివేసాం కొంచెం. We lose the track, we lose the rhythm. So lectures like this, memorials like this will help us rejuvenate. It helps us to meditate, help us to change our priorities and serve the society better. In the process, we become pure. Antakarna Shuddhi. Somebody was seeing the photograph of in the dispensary. Indira Gandhi, the Prime Minister at the time, 1981, coming all the way from New Delhi to open an outdoor dispensary. It's not Yashoda Hospital or Care Hospital or a 10-star hospital, 10 rooms dispensary. Prime Minister is coming. Opened the library, opened the auditorium and went off with one lecture. The command, the respect that people gave to him, he did not demand it. It came spontaneously because of his life, because of his character, because of his involvement in spiritual pursuits, as he himself said. How many times Padma Shri was awarded to him? How many times Padma Bhushan was given to him when he was in Calcutta itself? He just said one simple word to the Chief Secretary. The word Swami given to me, my Guru, is much valuable than your Padma Shri. And he made a beautiful statement. Who was the president at the time who will award the Padma Bhushan, Padma Shri? Dr. Sarvepalli Radhakrishnan, second president of India. And this Radhakrishnan was my guest in Karachi for 5 times while he was going to different lectures in Pakistan, at that time India. And now I stand before Radhakrishnan and receive, he will feel embarrassed to give it to me. I should not take. So I awarded. And that's why the first rule was made in Government of India that Gandhi Peace Award, though it is given to an individual who has done peaceful work in the country, okay, it will be given to an individual. But Maharaj said, sorry, I will not accept it. I am only a servant in the Ramakrishna order. Though he had become the vice president, he said, if you are giving to Ramakrishna Math, then I can come. And he said, I cannot come to Delhi, I am unable to travel. So the President of India came to Calcutta, and that is what you see in the Raj Bhavan. It was given to Ramakrishna Mission, received by Ranganathanji. This is what all this we learnt, we have seen through life, and that is what we are humbly offering every day to Sri Ramakrishna, Mother and Swamiji, and praying to Ranganathanji to guide me personally and to guide the Sangha, to guide my brother monks who are of great support to me, and take the message forward. I have seen him carrying a bag on his shoulder going by train. Maharaj, what is in the bag? Nothing personal. He had a towel, he had one brush, he had one cover, extra cover. I said, what is this for? See, when people enter the train, they throw all the kachada inside, and when other passengers come, it will be difficult for them to sit. So before other passengers come in the next station, I take the responsibility of cleaning the compartment. Can you imagine, my dear young friends here? Can you imagine this? Nehru was sitting at his feet, Radhakrishnan was his guest, but this man takes a brush, takes a towel so that other passengers will be comfortable. In a train, Indian train, he says it belongs to us. Why make it dirty? Last but not the least, I will tell you, after this lecture in Bangalore, when I was a brahmachari, we were serving him. He came out of the lecture, 3,000 people were listening to him. Suddenly, blackout, current went off, load shedding. It became pitch dark, all of a sudden. We can't see instantly. Old people are there, middle-aged people are there, crowd is there. Where will they go? All stopped. Maharaj was just coming down the steps near the auditorium. We, in our enthusiasm, brought a lantern, brought a torchlight, brought some other thing to guide Maharaj to his room. He scolded us. He said, I am staying here. My room is next building. But these elderly devotees who have come far, they need light. Give them the light. I will stay here. And sat down on the steps. He just sat there till light came. He doesn't move. So that is their outlook. That is their spiritual outlook. When light was given to the other devotees to go to their cars or to their vehicles, then he was very happy. Have everybody left? He kept on asking till 9 o'clock. Has everybody left? So this is where we look at things through that spectacles. So this memorial lecture, thank you for coming all the way, Professor, for your devotion and this one. Respect to the Ramakrishna order. You will learn more about his contribution just a little. And we pray to Ranganathanji to bless all of us and to guide us and take the Ramakrishna Sangha forward as much as possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Maharaj. I'm deeply honored to introduce our guest speaker, Professor Jagdish Gopalan sir. Professor Jagdish Gopalan sir is currently working as a senior professor in the Department of Aerospace Engineering, Indian Institute of Science, Bengaluru, India. He is the founder chairman of Center of Excellence in Hypersonics, IISc Bangalore. He mentors several startups in aerospace and biomedical space that are formed with equity participation from IISc to commercialize several of his discoveries related to shock waves. Professor Jagdish is one of the leading researchers in hypersonic aerothermodynamics and shock wave propagation in complex fluids, which are the most advanced fields of research relevant to space, defense, and innovative terrestrial applications. He has 25 patents on various discoveries related to shock waves and hypersonic flow control. He is currently the president of International Shockwave Institute, Japan, and also Society for Shockwave Research in India. He is the fellow of the prestigious Royal Aeronautical Society, UK, Indian Academy of Sciences, National Academy of Sciences, National Academy of Engineering, and Associate Fellow of American Institute for Aeronautic and Astronautics. He has been bestowed upon with several awards in recognition of his professional achievements. Recently, he was bestowed with the prestigious Rajyotsava Award 2023 by the Government of Karnataka for significant lifetime contributions to science and technology. Professor Jagdish sir is very passionate about spreading scientific temper, especially among rural children. He has interacted with over 525,000 school and college students in India till date to propagate the benefits of shockwave research and spirit of innovation. Sir has studied in Sri Ramakrishna Vidyashala Residential School for Boys in Mysuru between 1978 and 1982. May I now request Professor Gopalan Jagdish sir to address the gathering.
ॐ स्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय श्रीरामकृष्णाय ते नमः। नमः श्रीयतिराजाय विवेकानन्दसूरये सच्चित्सुखस्वरूपाय स्वामिने तापहारिणे। It is such an honor, Swamiji, to come here on an occasion of remembering one of the illustrious sons of modern India, a great exponent of Vedanta, Swami Ranganathanandaji Maharaj. I deem it as my lifetime honor to come here and share some thoughts on Swamiji here. But when I see such a good audience here, I am only reminded of the nice song from Saint Tyagaraja, Yendulo Mahanubhavulu, మీ అందరికీ నా వందనం. It was somewhere in the year 1979. The evening was about after dinner in the Sri Ramakrishna Vidyashala, Mysore. I still remember the time was about 9:30 or so. Srirang Maharaj was our warden in A block. And it was the first time there was a gramophone which was actually moving around. And I heard the baritonic voice of Swami Ranganathanandaji Maharaj. I was a small boy studying in 8th standard, and I don't recollect too much at that point in time. Except that there was a friendly fight which broke out between among students, because at that point in time I was from Kannada medium. Did not know how to speak English. Literally from 7th standard we moved on to 8th standard, and we had Swami Jagadatmanandaji Maharaj as our warden, who was an amazing orator in Kannada. But the moment I heard his voice, it was so mesmerizing. Of course, half of English I did not follow. But believe me, some three things have remained with me for a long time. One among them was a story that he really said in the prayer hall. He did visit once Ramakrishna Vidyashala. He was trying to explain what God is. And then it appears, I don't know whether this is from Vachana Veda or where it is from, what he was referring to, but the instance was very interesting. It appears a young, brahmachari was trying to figure out and ask Maharaj, is there God? How do we realize God? Because this is a very common question that everyone gets haunted at some point in time or not. So both of them went to Ganges for taking a bath. Suddenly, this monk, the guru, made sure that the young brahmachari could not come out of the water. He pushed his head so hard, and that guy was gasping for breath. Finally, somehow, after some time, he knew that if he holds him for longer time, he may die. He just removed him out. And the brahmachari said, finally you give me a breath. Maharaj asked him, the amount of longing you had for that one single breath, the day you have that for realizing God, He will be there for you. This is a story, somehow it kept on, coming back to me when I was traveling from Bangalore to, Hyderabad. And the other thing was very interesting. He used to say in the prayer hall, he said, I never get tired. And I think this is also a statement that was there in many places. And he was saying it in the context, if you can see God in everybody, and in every day you work in such a manner that you feel God everywhere, I don't think there is anything called tiredness. But the icing on the cake is, I urge you, if you have not read that book on science and spirituality from Maharaj, please go and read. You will realize how rounded he was, how nicely he was able to crystallize the complete works of Swami Vivekananda and present it to the common man. And he said, spirituality is all about, when your eyes are open, you please think about how you can serve others. And when your eyes are closed, you are at peace with yourself. I don't think spirituality can have a better definition than what Swami Ranganathanandaji gave at that point in time. So we always finally concluded in the Ramakrishna mission after the friendly fight, if it is Kannada, it should be Swami Jagadatmanandaji. If it is English, it should be Swami Ranganathanandaji Maharaj. After such a nice introduction that you have given about Maharaj, what is it that I will share some of my own intimate thoughts? I thought Swami Vivekananda is not somebody, or Swami Ranganathanandaji is not someone who have just gone away. Their spirit will live forever, not forever, probably another 10,000 years for sure on the annals of this great nation in India. I am not saying this as a scientist, but I am telling you because every bit of what they have spoken is utmost science. And I will show you and I will demonstrate to you by the end of this lecture. What I am trying to do here is little simple because there are many young students. I am tempted as a teacher, obviously, to share how Swamiji's works have really helped, and if you're really very careful, how you can make your life more enjoyable. That's the reason why I initially thought that we will share some of the few words of Swami Vivekananda. And I think the inner awakening or inner rejuvenation that I am going to talk about will only have 4 or 5 important points. Number one, we have what we normally refer as Atma Sthiti. I won't get into highly spiritual discussion because in front of monks of the Ramakrishna order, I am nobody to talk about spirituality. But for a time being, just remember there is some Atma, but I will tell you what it is by the end of this lecture. If your Atma Sthiti, if your Mano Sthiti, if your Deha Sthiti are fine, Paristhiti will take care of itself automatically. I hope you understood what it is. So it is important for us to take care of our Deha Sthiti, our Atma Sthiti, but we don't know what it is. I will tell you what it is. Mano Sthiti, most of us do recognize. If all the three are in harmony, maybe Paristhiti will automatically take care of itself. But before you really get into the discussion on how Ramakrishna and Paramahamsa's teaching are similar or why they are very clear, Osho makes a statement. Rajneesh, in fact, there is no religious leader that he has not criticized in his life, except Paramahamsa and Vivekananda. He says there is no distinguishing between them. If Paramahamsa was the soul, Vivekananda was the mind. Now, if you talk in that context, I want to take you back a little bit on the history. India, my friends, is a very, very special country. I wouldn't call it as a country. Probably we are the most blessed people on earth. If you have traveled to Israel or other parts of the country, you will realize how blessed we are. In fact, many years ago, when I happened to walk around Black Sea, there was a small pond of water which had actually flowing. It was almost like as if the drainage water of little bit of, as you would find a puddle of water of rain. And I asked my friend, he said, sir, yesterday we had floods in Tel Aviv, so hence you see water. And I couldn't believe that that country has an annual rainfall of something like 141 millimeter. In Hyderabad or in Bangalore, in half an hour, you will get that rain. The whole country is full of desert. There are no forests. Believe me that we are simply do not recognize the value of the natural wealth and the spiritual wealth that has been bestowed upon this part of the geography by whoever it is. And we don't seem to realize what it is. India is a very, very special place. But how do we really recognize this country? I am sure all of you here would have heard the word Ramayana and Mahabharata. You might not have seen Valmiki, you might not have read Mahabharata or Vedavyasa, what he wrote in Sanskrit. But all of us believe that this is a nation full of scriptures. Vedanta is little complicated. It is only for the people who are able to understand something, different. Although Swamiji talks about practical Vedanta. Ramayana is supposed to be, in my view, is a big, epic, which simply tells you what you should actually do. In fact, if you read that, it would say, you should be like Rama, you should be like Sita. It's full of virtues in the Treta Yuga. In fact, if you read Ramayana, you will not find any deceit. You will not find somebody trying to cheat someone. Although you may immediately tell me Vali was actually hit behind by Rama. But then that they say is the way he had to be taken to moksha. But that's a different issue. Mahabharata time when you came, it was slightly different. Already people were trying to play one against the other. In fact, in Mahabharata, you can very easily describe as what you should not do. People would say, don't be like Duryodhana, don't be like Dushyasana, don't be like Dhritarashtra. You will find all kinds of problems. So you had Treta Yuga, you had Dwapara Yuga, but there's a very interesting story. It appears there were two farmers who they were fighting amongst each other, and the fight finally reached the king. And one farmer was telling, King, I have actually sold my land to him. And now when he was actually plowing, when he was trying to do agriculture, he found a big pot of gold in his land. And the land has been sold by me. But the other farmer was saying, I have only bought the land, so this pot of gold actually belongs to you. Have you heard anybody telling like that in today's time? But this farmer was saying, no, I have sold the entire land. I have sold, so the tree, whatever is above, whatever is below, belongs to you. So this friendly fight reached the king. The king was taken aback and he said, sorry, I cannot decide today. You please come back after 1 month. After 1 month, when the two farmers came, the first farmer who said that the pot of gold doesn't belong to me, he said, I have sold only the land, but the pot of gold should come to me. And the farmer who said it should be belonging to the other guy, he said, no, I have bought the land from you, so whatever is below also belongs to me. The king was taken aback. He didn't know what to do because 1 month back they had a different problem. Today they have a different problem. So he called the minister. And the minister slowly whispered in his ear, Prabhu, Kali Yuga is born today. And that is the reason why this is happening. Then the king was very clever. He said, no problem. I will give the judgment. The pot of gold does not belong to either of you. It belongs to the treasury. So please come and give it to me. Now, we grew in a line of thought process like this, but suddenly in the 18th century, 17th century, India had a lot of invasion. Probably India is the only country, as Dr. Kalam used to say, which has not invaded on anybody. But we had several invasions, whether it is the Muslims or the British. But one thing very common to all of this, if you have really watched, they all tried to destroy our temples. But even in our temples, they did not destroy the outer architecture. If you visit Madurai, Kamakshi temple, so beautiful. They were always beyond, they were always behind the main deity that used to be there inside the temple. Friends, when Indians go to the temple, it is not a cultural center. It is a very private center where you have a private conversation with the divinity which is sitting inside the Garbhagriha. If you watch the architecture of all our temples, the natural frequency in the Garbhagriha is between 18 hertz to 28 hertz. This is called as infrasonic. The moment our whole body is made up of water, and the natural frequency of human being is also about 18 to 23 hertz. That is what is Maharaj was referring to as positive vibration. The moment you go there, you feel goosebump moments, right? This is all not science. So the Garbhagriha was made according to the Vastu Shastra. So the god was basically hit by the invaders so that you will really feel uncomfortable about it. But Swamiji was the one, it was around this particular time where the Indians were slaves for the British. When our temples were destroyed, the culture was in actual danger. Up came the great man, Paramahamsa and Vivekananda. It is important for you to read Indian history to really realize how in the 18th century, this one man who never went out of Dakshineshwar was able to pull everybody towards him. He never gave big discourses. But for the efforts of Masterji, we would not even have understood what Paramahamsa actually propagated. And many people think Paramahamsa and Vivekananda never participated in the freedom movement and things like that. I don't know how many of you have heard about this story. It appears Bankim Chandra Chatterjee, I hope you all know his name. He was the one who gave Vande Mataram to this great nation. He was working for the British at that point in time. And when he went along with his friend to see Paramahamsa, suddenly Gurudev asked him, hey, what is the meaning of your name? He was taken aback. Bankim Chandra essentially means bent moon in Bangla. And he did not stop there. Oh, your name is Bent Moon? Maybe the British boss who is actually sitting over you in the office must have kicked you in your face. So your face, which was straight, has become bent. And he started laughing and went away. It appears the moment Bankim Chandra Chatterjee came back, he was so taken aback. And that was the day he actually quit the service of the government. And out came Vande Mataram, which energized the whole nation. The reason why I am saying this is, Swamiji, when he has gone through the entire journey of, say, starting from his 40 years of life, in fact, many years ago when I was narrating the story to my daughter when she was very young, I said, Swami Vivekananda died at an age of 40. She remarked, so young, so much he did. It is unbelievable how this one particular individual transformed the entire cultural renaissance and how everything became so wonderful. Indians were able to stand up and say, yes, this is our nation, something has to be done. So you would ask me, in my view, what is Swamiji's vision for India? I am sure that you would have heard the equation E is equal to mc squared by Einstein. I think Swamiji also gave a E is equal to mc squared to the entire universe. Enlightened living is equal to a product of mindfulness, culture, and character raised to the square. It is very important for us to realize how Swamiji was scientifically trying to explain so many things. He said science is very important. And when I say science, you would actually be taken aback how he played a wonderful role in the formation of Indian Institute of Science. In fact, when our centenary was there in 2009, I was able to locate the original letter written by J.N. Tata to Swami Vivekananda, thanks to Swami Muktidanandji Maharaj. And it was located in the archives of Tata as well as in Belur Math. We took a printout of the entire thing and handed it over to the director, then director, Professor Balram. I was also fortunate to hand over that copy to Dr. Kalam, with whom I was lucky to have some interaction during the later part of my own career. And that letter is very special. Friends, forgive me for making this long story short, but then being from IASC, I am proud of narrating this story because I see a lot of young ladies here. And this discussion is very interesting. J.N. Tata is one of the outstanding sons and modern India has ever seen. And he actually wanted to institute a good institution for ancient aesthetics. During the journey from Japan to Chicago, he seems to have interacted with Swami Vivekananda. J.N. Tata writes, I hope you remember me as a fellow traveler. And during that discussion, Swamiji seems to have asked, what brings you to America? J.N. Tata, at that point in time, was trying to set up a steel plant in Jamshedpur. He said, I am going to the Western world to fetch steel-making technology. I don't know how many students of science and engineering are here. Swamiji seems to have remarked, Western world may give you science, world may give you technology, but who will teach you material science? Why don't you go and combine ancient aesthetics with modern science and start a research institute in the country? J.N. Tata actually writes, I hope you remember our conversation and you would have heard about my own efforts in opening, an institution. And he in fact goes on to say, who other than you could be a better exponent to come and become the first director of yet to be born institution? It appears Swamiji wrote some replies to that letter which are there in the British archive, but we are not able to locate them. But friends, Swamiji always said, thoughts are more powerful than words. He said, please watch out what thoughts come into your mind. Friends, did you know that in all our brain in a day, you can have something like 80,000 thoughts? All of them are repeated thoughts, but we never bother about it. A great example for thought leadership was here between Vivekananda and J.N. Tata. Both of them were not alive when the institute was actually born. They in fact died in the beginning of the 19th century. But Padam Shah, who was the secretary of J.N. Tata, knew about this. Sister Nivedita knew about this. Then they all got together along with the Mysore Samsthana. And Mysore, I don't know how many of you have seen KRS Dam at that point in time. Everybody thinks that it is the king of Mysore who actually played a role, but you might not have heard about this queen. Her name is Kemparajammanni Vani Vilas Sannidhana. She was the mother of Nalvadi Krishnaraj Vadayar and a devotee of Swami Vivekananda. And she said, you can take as much land as you want in the Upper Palace Orchard in Bangalore. Today, square feet land in that current location is about 40,000 rupees. And we got something like 400 acres in those days, free of cost by that great queen. But J.N. Tata also was remarkable. When he died, he divided the property into two parts. Even today, we get about 3 crore rent from properties which are there in the name of Indian Institute of Science in Nariman Point, Mumbai. Friends, thoughts become words. Words actually lead to action. Actions decides your habit. Your habit decides your character. Your character will decide your destiny. Please remember, it is very important for us to have real thought leadership. The classic example is this particular story. That queen, I don't know if you get a chance, please read about it. She wanted to institute scholarship so that poor people can study science. But the first British director who was there, Maurice Travers, he said, science is not for the people who are poor, and he refuses to institute a scholarship in Indian Institute of Science. But Mysore Queen was giving something like 50,000 rupees every year till 1947, till we became independent. That is the power of thought. So one of the first lessons that we have to really learn with what Swami Vivekananda has said is about how we can really have large thoughts, so that thoughts really become very important if you want to decide on your character. But I think time is very short, so all of us need, nowadays our attention is very, very small because people suffer from what is popularly referred as attention deficiency syndrome. This is a modern problem that everybody faces after the advent of the so-called mobile phones, right? Obviously, all of us are so fond of WhatsApp in the house, we don't know whether we wash vessels, but we wash our hand very well with mobile phone. Every day we get hooked on to new technology. So there are 5 important things that I would tell you, based on which I will later on elaborate a little bit how Swamiji's teachings are so profound. Finally, what do I mean by inner awakening and rejuvenation? Friends, in life, please remember, you need to acquire skill. So point number 1 is you need to acquire skill. You also be very careful about will. You also need to have good will. You should not fall ill. You should not have any frills. And you should always go for the kill. These are the 5 gems that Swamiji, in my view, has given to this world. What are they? You should have good skill. You should not fall ill. You should have a good will. You should not fall ill. Have no frills. Don't think you are the greatest person on the earth. The Superman story or the Spider-Man story doesn't work. You are nobody in this world. And the last one is always go for the kill. How do we really look at this? Skill today is very, very important. In fact, I don't know how Gurudev mentioned this. As long as I live, so long do I learn, said Swami Paramahamsa. Probably in today's period, nothing is more suitable than that statement, because this world is seeing so many disruptions that the entire world has not seen in the last 300 years. Believe me, friend, this mobile phone that you are all so hooked onto will be outdated in 5 years. Not more than that. Already there are small pins which are actually coming in, which you can pin it onto your chest. You can use your hand as a screen. The human mind knows no barrier. The unbelievable speed with technological revolutions are taking place today. Were we born with this telephone at any point in time? But even my own people, I think there are what I call as a BC and, before computer and after computer. Many of us had never even seen computers when we were in college. But we learn, we adopt. He survives on this planet, he who loves to adopt and be flexible. Swami Vivekananda has expressed amazing skill throughout his life. I don't know how many of you have gone to Kanyakumari. The sea is so rough there. I couldn't believe somebody could actually swim all across and go and sit in that boulder. In fact, even when you go on a small boat there, it actually rocks. It is so rocky. And the man had only one particular vision of making India great. And he was able to travel all across the world, speak English. He was from Bangla. There were no internets that day. And all that he did was, he could have very easily formed the Sangh in his name. But he formed the Sangh in the name of Paramahamsa, the greatest demonstration of renunciation and service. That skill, that adaptability is something that you see among all monks of the Ramakrishna order. I have been very lucky to be looked after by monks of the Ramakrishna order. I have stayed almost 4 years. All of them, it appears as if they are all working very hard. Very important, friends, to have a very good routine. I don't know how many of you have really realized it. When I say routine, we should not get worked up on doing repeated things in our life. The biggest example is our mother. Mother, she would be a girl in somebody's family. She would become somebody's wife. She would become mother again. She would become a grandmother again. But if you look at my own mother or most of them who are here, do they get tired of cooking? When you go to college, every day they pack the food. Do they come and say, I have cooked food for you, you please pay me? But they do repeated job every day without actually becoming impatient. Indian mothers, Indian parents, my friends, I have traveled about 20 countries. I can tell you, you will never get such people anywhere in the world. Because their single point agenda is what? They want to see their son or daughter do well in their life. Nothing else. Swami Brahmananda used to call them Griha Tapaswini. Every day they get up right on time. Every day they put rangoli in front of the house. They make sure that all their job is done routinely. There can be no greater chemistry than in the kitchen. There can be no greater physics than in the playground. There can be no greater biology than in the bathroom. Science is there, right there. Because science is not something abstract, physics and chemistry, my friends. Science is all about understanding outer nature. Understanding outer nature in a systematic manner as science, understanding your own self in a very systematic manner is actually spirituality. And that is the USP of India, as Swami Ranganathanandaji used to say. So the important thing is to have a wonderful routine. Please don't get worked up, because great institution, great success is not made by people who do extraordinary things. It is all made by people who do ordinary things in an extraordinary manner with amazing consistency. Please don't get tired of having a good routine in life. This is about skill. Skill is very important. Don't think your university examination will be, once you pass that, you are okay. Believe me, in the current scenario, your education system can be okay for about 3 years. Not more than 3 years. After that, it gets outdated. If you don't learn every day, there is no way you can survive here. Don't get into the classical syndrome that I normally call as 5-4-3-2-1 syndrome. Life is not that 5-figure salary, 1 4-wheeler, 1 3-bedroom house, 1 boy or 1 girl and 1 husband or 1 wife. No. Life is far beyond that, right? So don't think that I get education today, I should get a job and be comfortable. Don't get tired of repeated things in life, doing repeated things. In fact, it appears that a boy married a girl after, desperately loving her for about 4 years. After marriage, he understood that the girl knows only to cook upma. Nothing else. So that lady ended up cooking morning tiffin upma, afternoon upma, night upma. But this boy had loved her so intimately and he withstood all of that. For 20 years, imagine, 20 years somebody eating only upma, nothing else. One day he said, no, this is not going to work. I am going to go to a hotel today. I am going to eat something else. Otherwise, my life is completely a useless exercise. So he goes to a hotel. When he goes to a hotel, the menu card was in English. Unfortunately, he was also like me from Kannada medium. He couldn't understand what was written. But then he was very uncomfortable asking the bearer what is there in the menu card. So he said he will put his hand on something and he thought, anyway, it won't be certainly upma, so he put his hand. Unfortunately, when he was waiting, okay, something new will come today, the bearer, when he came, it was also upma. He said, my God, my entire karma yoga that I have done is only to eat upma. Then he looked at the neighboring table, and the neighboring table, he had a Sardarji who was eating all kinds of colorful things. It was completely, saliva was flowing out. And then he was watching him, what he does. And the adjacent table, after eating, when the bearer came, he said, repeat. So this man thought, if I say repeat, I will get all those dishes. He said repeat, again came upma. Don't get tired of doing repeated things in life, friends, because repeated things are the one which are going to take you to and far. I'll spend a little bit more time on the second part, about your mind. All of us believe that mind is very complicated. Mind is something where you need to practice, you need to do yoga, otherwise we will not have mind control. Because I keep narrating, it is very important for us to have more than sofa set, TV set, dining set. You should have the right mindset in the home or in office. Unfortunately, we don't realize what it is. Many of you are students here. Tell me, how many of you wake up early in the morning to have, say, something like 5:30 in the morning, examination time? You keep the alarm and then say, from tomorrow I'll get up at 5:30, I will study. You will do a lot of good drama. You will call your mother and tell, Mom, please wake me up at 5:30. I am going to study because it's mathematics exam. The moment alarm rings, say at 5:30, what do? You switch it off. Can there be a greater fool on earth than us? It was me or I who actually set the alarm. It was I who actually put it down. Why is this drama? In fact, this drama goes on not just among students, it goes on among older people. We think every day in the morning from tomorrow, especially with diabetic patients, this is very common. I will never eat sweet. But the moment one is there, okay, anyway I am taking one tablet, I will eat. So in a mind, in fact, even there are wonderful books on this. Sigmund Freud has written very nicely on this kind of a philosophy. Many a times you would have observed, we don't want to do it, but we end up doing. Smokers is another problem. Even healthy individuals, we all are very determined. We are all very determined when we are in a conscious mind. When I am talking to you, I am in a conscious mind. But then what is it that actually drives you not to do certain thing? And that is popularly referred in psychology as the subconscious mind. Friends, did you know that subconscious mind is 9 times more powerful than conscious mind? That is why Navaratri is celebrated. Just to make sure that God should give you enough blessings to really become stronger in subconscious mind. Immediately you will ask me, sir, where is the ready-made recipe to make my subconscious mind stronger? Subconscious mind is something which can become stronger when you actually sleep and when you start doing what they popularly call as auto-suggestion. So subconscious mind actually should start working when you actually sleep. In fact, it has been more than 30 years since I wore a watch. And I never set an alarm. Because tomorrow I want to get up at, say, at 8 o'clock, then automatically 7:30 I get up. This happens to everybody, provided you are able to tune your mind. And this is where you also need to do something little extra. There is a very nice connection between your human body and the mind. I am not asking you to do some pranayama and things like that. But please make sure that this very nice connection between your breath or breathing and your mind. I don't know if you really know that human body, because the third point that I am actually talking is about don't fall ill. They are very nicely connected. Human body has something like 37.1 trillion cells working in unison. Have you ever wondered? 1 billion is how much? 1,000 million. 1 million is 10 lakh. Have you ever wondered this body has got 37.1 trillion cells working together in unison? They never stop. All of you are sitting in this audience, friends. All of you are not millionaires. You are billionaires. You know why? NASA spent $25 billion. 1 billion is 7,800 crores to recreate a bionic eye. They couldn't recreate. If I ask you, you give me your hand, I will give you 1 crore. Who will be ready here? If we did not have this thumb, we would be no different than a monkey. This thumb actually decided our future. One of my friends very jokingly was saying in another 50 years, this thumb will be longer than all the other fingers because you are using this more for the mobile. So please watch out when you use mobile more. But the important point here is the human mind and the body is so very complicated, so very wonderful. Swamiji always talks about the balance between the matter and energy. Complete works of Swami Vivekananda, the first one, if you read it, is all about this balance. The whole body is so very beautiful. You don't know that our body is made up of just about 5 elements. One is carbon, the other one is oxygen, the other one is hydrogen, nitrogen, calcium, phosphorus. That's all. Have you ever wondered why do you put vibhuti on your forehead? It is to remind you, hey young man, you are jumping up, one day you will be reduced to ashes, don't jump so much. This whole body is so very beautiful. Lungs, what you have here, is not even so, it's smaller than a tennis ball. But if I can spread out a lungs in this auditorium, it will be equivalent to a tennis court. The lungs and the heart, both of them are controlled by the same part of your brain. I don't know how many of you recite Om and things like that. You may think these are all not scientific. Recent research has shown, our own IASC Professor Ramakrishna does quite a bit of work on this. He was telling me very interesting things. I don't know, Brahmari Pranayama and all, if I say you think I am a yoga teacher, I am not a yoga teacher. But usually it is said, humming, many of you hum songs in your bathroom. Please continue, it's an excellent thing. Whenever you say Om or whenever you inhale and when you exhale, you make. Brahmari Pranayama is all about, correct? If you do that, nasal nitric oxide content becomes higher. This is proven, this is not some story. Nasal nitric oxide is a wonderful neurotransmitter. It helps you to basically get new neurons in your brain. So from today, whatever you do, I don't know, at least make sure you inhale and exhale. When you are exhaling, please make that sound. Om has not come out just like that, friends. And you will be surprised to know, Om is there in 54 languages around the world. They have Om. In fact, Amen, actually you close your mouth. Chamakam when you say, your Nama Sankirtana, all of them have this Ma. where you keep on closing your mouth. In fact, more nitric oxide production will be very useful to your brain. So please make sure at least from today when you go back, sometime in the morning, practice humming. If you can't do pranayama, at least please make sure that you sing. And when you sing aloud and when you make the humming sound, the whole body gets energized. In fact, if you do Omkara properly, you will find that the vibrations travel all the way up to the Nabi and then they come out. So these are all proper signs. In fact, language came only about 2,500 years ago. Until then, there were no lipi. That is why in olden days, you have this Manana and Shravana, Nididasthavya. So all the three were there in the olden days. So the reason why I am saying this, if you want to control your mind, make sure that you control your breath. So you should do what is popularly referred now in modern days as deep breath. In fact, when we breathe and breathe out, as Ramakrishna was mentioning recently, there is a small pause that you can actually do. You can even try it out just for a second. You just sit straight. If you keep your hand on your thighs like this and you breathe, you just observe. Actually, you breathe through your abdomen. But the hand, instead of like this, you put it other way around, you breathe through your chest. You can try this out. This is nothing complicated, story. And normally, the current trend that they are saying is you should never give a pause between your inhalation and exhalation. You should breathe in, breathe out as deep as possible throughout the day so that the number of breath comes down. Because at the end of the day, lung material is also very, mild. So it may break up. So they say you need to reduce the fatigue, loading on the brain, on the lungs by doing this. Anyway, so if you want to improve your subconscious mind, friends, make sure that you get right kind of friends in your life. Your friends will decide where you head actually. Tell me who your friends are, I will tell you who you are. What normal adage is. So make sure that you get good friends. Make good company. The good company will actually help you to get good thoughts. Good thoughts will actually lead to good, actions, and then life will be much better. And of course, the ill I did mention to you, I won't get into too much detail, but make sure that every day you should sweat. How many of you sweat every day? It's a very small number. You should not sweat because you have some heart problem and all. In fact, mother, they do this very routinely. That is why they don't need any exercise. In fact, you know very well that the ladies, they don't get heart attack because every day they are working so hard. So make sure that you sweat every day because if you sweat, transpiration cooling will ensure the metabolism is better. If you want to destroy something like 1 kg of fat in your body, you need to inhale and exhale something like 10 kg of oxygen and 10 kg of carbon dioxide, which is very, very complicated. So that is why make sure that you don't fall ill. Take care of your body because you don't realize how complicated a liver is, how complicated a kidney is. So always Vivekananda used to say about taking care of one's own body because unless the body is fine, mind will not be very comfortable. In fact, mind is also very interesting. How many of you have done in the house, have you made curds? If you know how to make curds at home, how do you really boil the milk? You boil it in the same vessel every day. If you try to change the vessel while boiling, it goes away. Correct? And if you increase the temperature too much, what happens? It gets stuck at the bottom of the vessel. And if you try to, convert that milk into curd in different vessel, in fact, what you should do is have only warm milk. Put only 1 spoon of curd. Don't shake the vessel. You just leave it there. You will get very thick curd next day. Our mind is like that. It is extremely sensitive. If you have in bad company, if you keep looking at same things, then automatically you will start reacting. That is why one of the poets in Kannada says, in fact, God first created monkey, I believe, Vanara. Then he created jackal, Nari. Then he said, what will happen if I combine Vanara and Nari? So he made Nara. So our human mind is like that. You get all kinds of stories, all kinds of thought process every day. So the only way you can overcome this is what popularly referred in psychology today is remaining still. Remaining still without thinking, without doing anything is meditation. In COVID period, automatically pollution came down, right? What did you do? You did nothing. Automatically noise pollution came down, sound pollution came down, our rivers became beautiful. So if you want to recharge your mind, your brain, all that you should do is remain still. Now I will come to that Atma Shakti, that Atma Sthiti that I mentioned. Every day when you close your eyes, there is something which is in you tells you, sir, you should not be doing that. You did that today, but you shouldn't have done that. That inner voice is what is popularly referred as intuition. In fact, there are three things: instinct, intellect, and intuition. Intellect is what you get every day from all your books and people. Instinct is what you get from your animal past, because only 1,000 genes are different between a chimpanzee and human being. There is not much of difference between us. 1,000 genes. We are about 27,300. About 1,000 genes are different. That is why we have all become like this, trying to destroy the entire world, thinking that we are the masters of universe. So it's very important for us to ensure that all the three are fine. But something in us, whatever I told you, is a very big problem. This is popularly referred as ego by some people, Hankara by Vedanta. In fact, the mind is so very funny. It appears one day a person was very tired. He said, I am tired of this world. I am going to go and become a monk. They think becoming a monk is very easy. It is not. You do not know the kind of sacrifices they have made, and it's very difficult to remain a monk. But this man decided that I am going to become a monk, and he went and sat in a corner near a jungle. People came and built a mutt also for him. But he was always repeating one thing. He was trying to tell them, Yemaino, Etlaino. He used to say, Yemaino, Etlaino. After some time, he used to say, Kutraino, Kodokaino. It appears when this fellow came out of the house, there was a child birth which was expected in his family. So he was always worried, Yemaino, Etlaino, Kutraino, Kodokaino. Mind is like that. It is not important. Even if you run away to Himalayas, your mind is not going to go with you. So it's very essential for us to ensure that how do we really strike a balance among all the three, and how do you really strengthen that inner voice. In fact, Swamiji very beautifully says, please talk to yourself. If you don't, you will lose a chance of talking to your best friend in life, says Swamiji. It's very important for us to talk to ourselves every day. Ensure that you do enough of your auto-suggestion, and don't think too big about yourself. In fact, in Swamiji, in one day when he was in Bangla, that was a beginning period, when he had met Swami Paramahamsa, suddenly he was sitting in a class, he ran out without wearing a chappal. In Bangla, there is a tradition, if you are running on the street without wearing a chappal, that means you are going to a house where there is a death. So people also started running behind him, thinking that somebody must have died. And then they asked him, what is it? Why are you running like this? He said, the I in me died today. I in me died today because there was a great man in Dakshineshwar who made sure that the I dies. But this ego is not something which is going to go away. If you say, I am not egoistic, I will be lying to you. Because the day I am born, they give me a name. My name is Jagdish. So I always want to do something. And when we are in samsaris, we think we are sannyasis. But when we become sannyasis, we think we should have all the vices of samsara. So it's very difficult for us. How do you really become detached? And there's a very last one or two stories I will tell and close the issue. It appears one man he went there and to a sannyasin and asked, I am feeling very lonely. What should I do? I am feeling very lonely. So this monk ordered him, so you go and get a cat. Take care of a cat and your loneliness will go away. So he went to the market and got a very good cat and kept it in his house. People who actually have cats at home, you will realize they are very lousy compared to, say, something like your dogs. There is always a problem. They will mess up the whole place. They will come and sit on the sofa. It was so messy that this man he wanted to get rid of this cat. So he went back to the monk again, and the monk actually said that, what do I do? Hey, okay, you are staying in some place, you go to some forest, leave the cat and come back. Get rid of it. So this man went to about 10 kilometers, left the cat and came back. Before this guy could come back, the cat was in his house. Cats have an amazing sense of direction. They can come back. Again, he survived for a few more months, but he said, I can't do it. He went to the monk. Monk said, you go and take him to a big forest, far off place, and then you leave him and come. Then this guy took the cat in a big gunny bag, went to a deep forest about 100 kilometers. He released the cat, and then he said, okay, today all my problems are solved. But when he turned back, he didn't know how to get back home. Then the cat said, follow me. This is our ego. We are not going to get away with ego very easily, but we all should make attempts to make sure that aham comes down, because if there is one common lesson that anybody has given to this world, Atmano Mokshartam Jagat Hitayacha has no parallels in any religion around the world, friends. It's an amazing piece of statement. You know why? Not from what Swamiji has said, you should do service or you should do renunciation. In fact, none of us realize all of us are doing service. You know how? 90% of the food we eat, 90% of the oxygen that we give is all to make sure that your bacteria, fungi, virus in your body are alive. 90% of bacteria, 90% of your food is actually for them. So you are actually doing Atmano Mokshartam Jagatitayacha. You are making sure all of them are in fine balance. And if that balance is disturbed, you are in for trouble. And you don't know that I think 5 years back in Uzbekistan, 120,000 antepoles suddenly died. And they discovered that that year the temperature, local temperature was up by 1.5 degrees centigrade. And as a result, one of the virus which was dormant basically came out and destroyed something like 1.5 lakh antepoles. We are actually passing through such very interesting period in the world's history today. If we don't take care of our environment today, we are in for trouble. COVID is a very classic example why the viruses start becoming very active after a certain time. So we are actually following Atmano Mokshartam Jagat Hitayacha. So whatever breath you take, whatever food you eat is all to make sure all your virus, bacteria, fungi in your body is actually alive. So control your ego and make sure, but then it is not very easy. In fact, all of us are behind the name, fame, award, whether you like it or not. We all need to be recognized by somebody. In fact, in the beginning, when you are very young, when you are a small baby, it is about your food. Moment your stomach hungry is, your hunger goes away, then you want people to come to you, you want to be loved by others. So this is a very stopping kind of an exercise. It appears one young man asked a monk again, how long will it take, what should I do to this world to really become famous? So he said, if you become a king, if you become an emperor, then you will become very famous. Then what should I do to become an emperor? Then he gave a very beautiful SOP, because nowadays we like all SOPs so that you can follow that. And then the young boy asked, what will happen if I become an emperor? One day I will also die. Then he said, yeah, you will die, but your name will be inscribed on a golden mountain which is there up in the heaven. This is very interesting, right? Golden mountain, my name getting inscribed. So this boy was actually, he did all the things the monk said. He waged wars, he won kingdom, became an emperor, but he was not very happy. He said, okay, one day I am going to really go to heaven and my name will be inscribed on a golden mountain. So he thought somebody will be welcoming him. So when he died, when he entered, there was a watchman. There was nobody to even welcome this fellow. So watchman stopped him, where are you going? Hey, I am a king, I have died, I have done this, so my name has to be inscribed on a golden mountain. Oh, okay, that is there, you go and do whatever you want. This guy was very disappointed. What is it? I have wasted my entire life. When he goes there, he did not find any space to inscribe any name. The entire mountain was already full of names. Friends, our life, if it has to become meaningful, we need to have a purpose in life. Swami Ranganathanandaji Maharaj's name will be there for next 10,000 years because he lived for others. If you are going to live for yourself, this world will forget you mercilessly. In fact, all of us who are here, we don't remember the grandmother of my grandfather. People who lived in our own family for 100 years, 150 years, we don't remember. But we remember Adi Shankara, we would remember Paramahamsa for ages to come. So it is very important for us to make sure that we shed this ego and go and actually serve the society, because that is the only way for which you are actually born. Vivekananda very beautifully says, even a beggar on the street is not waiting for your alms. So don't think you're doing a great service by going and giving alms to somebody. It is your fundamental duty for having born from an amoeba to a human being, because it has taken 35 million years, friends, for you to become a human being. It's very, very special. For be born as a human is not an ordinary thing. So don't waste your time doing ordinary things in life. Make sure that we do something extraordinary. The last point I said, you should also go for the kill. When an opportunity comes in life, please make sure that you do it today. Don't wait for tomorrow. Swami Vivekananda traveled all the way from here to Chicago to participate in the World Parliament of Religion. That one single word, that one single speech transformed the whole nation. And the whole journey that he had was full of transformational thought leadership that he really exhibited. So it is very important for us to do a couple of things in life. Number one, please make sure that you get good skill. You should have a will. Don't fall ill. Have no frills. Go for the kill. Life will be wonderful. But then, I'll just close by just telling you one last thing. How many of you have seen a lotus in a pond? Have you seen a lotus leaf? Have you seen a dirty lotus leaf? Lotus leaf will never be dirty. Please go and observe. Lotus leaf, one of the German biologists put the lotus leaf under a microscope. He saw beautiful nano-sized ridges. And because of those ridges, even a droplet of water which falls on the lotus leaf, immediately it actually goes down, taking the dirt along with it. How many of you have made dosa here? Before making dosa, what do? At least you take some water and sprinkle. When you sprinkle it on the hot tawa, what happens to the water? It evaporates instantaneously. But imagine the situation, same drop of water if it is there on the lotus leaf. Early in the morning when the sun shines from the east, the sun rays hits the droplet of water. It shines like a diamond, maybe for a few seconds. But when the wind blows, even that goes away. But the same drop of water, if it resides inside a small, calcium shell, undergoes hydrostatic pressure for 6.5 months at a depth of 2 kilometers below the sea, it becomes invaluable pearl. Friends, our life is like that. Do you want to become a water droplet on a dosa tawa which lives just for a few seconds without being useful to anybody? Or whether you want to become that droplet of water which shines like a diamond for a few seconds, or whether you want to become an invaluable pearl in life, is all in our hands. It is not just there in somebody's preaching, but that preaching, that powerful inner rejuvenation things, because please realize that you have an inner friend who is always with you. Constantly talk to him, and that inner awakening will happen if you read Swami Vivekananda. He alone lives who lives for others, he said. Very, very ordinary manner. And it is important for us to renounce, serve the society, because that is the only opportunity that you get. Animals cannot serve human beings, but human beings can serve everybody. And it is that wonderful, delicate balance that we have. Make sure that whatever we speak, always our tongue, should be like a sugar factory. Please talk sweetly. Don't make sure that you shout at people. Your tongue should always be like a sugar factory. Your heart should actually be like a love factory, not the filmy love. Love everybody. Love universal people, Vishwa Manav is what Swami Vivekananda said. Everybody should be loved without caste, creed. Ranganathanandaji talks about this universal love so many times in his lecture. So your heart should become like a love factory. Your tongue should actually become like a sugar factory. Your head should always be like an ice factory. You should not really get angry. It is not worth it. If your tongue is a sugar factory, if your heart is a love factory, if your head is like an ice factory, your life will be satisfactory. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Thank you, sir, for your wonderful insights. I now request our Adhyaksha Maharaj, Swami Bodhimanandaji, to felicitate our guest speaker.
Quick announcement before we end, getting late. Profound thanks and greetings, namaskars, prayers to Professor Jagdish Gopalan for highly illuminating both science, spirituality, values, life, and the contribution that we have to do to the society. He has given a wholesome package from Indian Institute of Science to Hyderabad Ramakrishna Math. It is for us to open the gift, utilize it, study well, and make a difference in our daily life. On behalf of all of you, I convey my loving thanks to Professor for his participation in this memorial lecture and also for his invaluable ideas. So the whole lecture will be uploaded in our YouTube channel, Ramakrishna Math YouTube channel by tomorrow. So all of you can listen again patiently at home and spread the link to others also who could not come today or could not listen. It's a great source of knowledge for all of us. Then after this Shanti Mantra, closing mantra, devotees who will be here can come on stage, loose flowers are kept, and offer Pushpanjali to Revered Maharaj on his birthday memorial lecture. And then you can proceed for Arati. Prasada distribution is there outside. This is for devotees who are here. And Yoga Shibir students will proceed to the art gallery for the next class or for instructions. The camp students, Shaurya Youth Camp, will proceed to VIHE Venkateshwara Hall for certificate distribution and book distribution. And in the bookstall, we have kept a exclusive exhibition of Swami Ranganathanandaji's books, literature. They're all spread out in the general rack, but today we have kept it separately. A special 20% discount is given on the books of Revered Maharaj, those who want to purchase in the main bookstall just in front here. Make use of that and share it with others. It's a good opportunity. Nearly 25-30 titles are there. So we thank all of you also for participation. Namaskar to all of you for participating in large numbers. And may Sri Ramakrishna's blessings, Maharaj's blessings, and great teachers' blessings be all on us. And hope 2024. January 1st is celebrated as Kalpataru Day. January 3rd, this year is Holy Mother's birthday. And today is, for statistic purpose, 115th birthday of Revered Swami Ranganathanandaji that we are observing. 1908, 2023. So, lot of programs are pipelined till next year, December. So all of you will be put on our website, on our data. Invitations will come. 11 January, 12 January, then we have 11th February, 12th February, 13th February, Golden Jubilee celebrations. So all of you can contribute in any way possible, as volunteers, as support, as people in Telangana also, because 25 years Maharaj was the president here. Then 8 years he went as the president of the entire order. 1998 he left Hyderabad, 73 he came. So for somehow or the other, his work was appreciated, absorbed and inspired in Andhra, that time United Andhra. Whether it was Chirala, whether it was Ongole, whether it was Tanaku, whether it is Amalapuram, whether it is Vishakhapatnam, up to Srikakulam, up to Orissa border. And here, somewhere we down the line, a little, what should I say, dry atmosphere somehow created. So we should not lose that opportunity, golden jubilee, spread the message of Maharaja's teachings, wisdom, Swamiji's teachings in the entire 27 districts of Telangana state. That is our master plan for the next 1 year, 2 years. So all of you are welcome in any part and get in touch with us and make a big difference in your life. Atmana Moksha Jagathita. So we'll end this memorial lecture with Asatoma Sadgamaya and one Guru Stotram and move forward. Right? Om Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amrutangamaya Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Gnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Jai Bhagavan Shri Ramakrishna Deva ki Jai. Jai Shri Sharada Mai ki Jai. Jai Swami Vivekananda Maharaj ki Jai. Jai Srimad Swami Ranganathanandaji Maharaj ki Jai. Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om. Jai Ramakrishna. Our sir will guide you. Loose flowers will be kept. Devotees can come in line. And